Hey everyone, welcome to another lesson. So in this one, we're going to go over our practice. I'm just going to give you a quick introduction to it before we get into solving it. Now, I want us to do this a little bit differently, which I'll go over in a minute, but this is going to be an interesting one, and this is going to be a kind of a head scratcher because you really have to think about this one a little bit. Now, one of the things I want you to remember is that as we go down into more complicated Python concepts, I want you to become a more independent programmer, because I remember one of the issues that I had when I started learning programming was that, I was watching too many videos and I wasn't really putting it to use. And that actually led to me not learning it the way I should have in the beginning. So I want you to not make the same mistake and, become a more independent programmer. This essentially means that I want you to, do your own thinking from time to time more than before. So, for example, in this particular practice, I'm going to explain the project we're building, right, in a minute. But what I want you to do is I want you to build it all by yourself. I'll give you some hints here and there, but I want you to build it by yourself. I'm not gonna give you any starter files. I'm not gonna give you any files that you can use, any like charts or all that stuff. Nothing. You just gotta figure it out, look at how it works, and try to build it by yourself. So what are we building here? So if I run this program, this is a number guessing program. Essentially what it does, it's a game that is going to, find a random number. Obviously, immediately you can think about the random module, right? So it's going to choose a random number from 1 to 100. And then it's going to ask you for a difficulty. The idea with this is that if you choose easy difficulty, you're going to get 10 attempts or 10 lives, essentially. And if you choose hard difficulty, you're going to get 5 attempts, right? So you have fewer attempts. So in this case, I'm just going to go easy, for example. So when you choose the difficulty, it's going to say, all right, so you have 10 attempts remaining to guess the number. So make a guess. So that's the game, essentially. You're just going to have to guess the number to figure out what is the actual number. So I usually, because it's between 1 and 100, I just start from 50. And it's going to say too high. All right, so now I know it's below, that's just my strategy for playing this game anyways. I know, okay, it's below 50. So we're going to do, let's say 25. So it says too low. So too low, yeah. So that means it's between 15 and 25. I'm going to do 30. Too low, 35. What about that? Too low, 40. There you go. Too low, 45. Too low. Wow, okay, so we got 46. Let's see, there you go. So that's the answer, 46. So again, pretty interesting. It's just a very basic game, but that's how it works. Again, you just gotta choose a random number between 1 and 100, and that is going to be the answer. And then you gotta ask for guesses from the user, and then if it equals to the number, it's going to display the message, right? You got it. The answer is this. If not, it needs to detect whether it's high or not, right? Or if it's too low or too high. So this is another thing that you got to figure out. How do you actually implement this? How do you figure out, where is this guess that they just did, and how would you calculate that exactly, and how would you display this message? So this is something I want you to, again, figure out by yourself. Try to think about it hard, like spend maybe an hour, really try to program this, build it by yourself. Again, the key here is that I want you to be stuck in a situation where you really have to spend time to figure something out. You really have to research, maybe even you have to think about how can you fix bugs potentially if anything comes up. So really want you to think about this. And again, based on what we've learned so far, you should be easily able to actually solve this. But again, I want you to really try to do this by yourself with no guidance. Just open PyCharm, make a new project, call it whatever you want, and then just start building it, right? So that's what I want you to do. So try to do that. Take some time, maybe an hour to do this. And I'm going to go over the solution in the next lesson. But again, as I said, try to do this by yourself. All right. So let me know if you have any questions so far. I'll see you in the next one.